We are sloppy DevOps. That's what we do. And did you want to do a little intro today, Nancy?
Well, just say hello, and I'm Nancy Gariché, another project leader for OWASP DevSlop and cybersecurity risk manager for the Government of Canada. And I'm here to help out Tanya, to support Tanya fixing the website today. Not sure what we're
Yes.
doing, but she'll explain all that to us. Yay!
Me. Hi, I'm Tanya Janka. I'm a giant nerd. I work at Microsoft, and I broke the OWASP DevSlop project website. So OWASP is the Open Web Application Security Project. It's this giant community. We have a foundation. We have lots of chapters around the world, and we have projects. And Nancy and I and Nicole and Francisca and Abel make up a project called DevSlop, and that is us. And yeah, so we have a website. So if I come over here, see this? Oh, this stinks. So we added a privacy cookie policy. So Abel added that because that's nice.
You're not sharing your screen with me, Tanya.
Oh,
Can you please do
oh,
that?
I need to share my screen with you. Sorry.
That's
Okay, I
okay.
apologize. Sharing of the screen commences now. Okay, perfect. So
It's
Nancy and
much
I are
better.
going to hang out on this side of the screen up here. So this is our website, devslop.co. This is our website. And I like it. It looks just like the beautiful Azure default website template, but with our logo and with information about our project. And Abel added, Abel Wang, who's part of our project, added a privacy and cookie policy, which is a script. But I added security headers with Francisca, and one of them was the content security policy header. And you might have heard of it. It breaks things on purpose.
On
So,
purpose.
yeah. So the point of the header is to make sure specifically that we don't run scripts we don't need to run. So I was like, I didn't write any scripts. And Francisca said she didn't write any scripts. So then we have no scripts. So we said no scripts, right? But then Abel was like, you know what? We are using cookies now. The site uses cookies because we have an admin module. And although your users, we're not giving them cookies, it's only the administrators, which are basically Francisca and I. We should still have a cookie policy because that's good practice. So he added it. And then the content security policy was like, you said no scripts. No scripts. So then it broke it and it looks like this crap. This is awful. Like, this is not, Abel made this beautiful menu and I broke it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if people have heard of Jim Manico, but we know him, right, Nancy?
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah, sure.
smart dude. And he had put the content security policy header on his site, and then it had broken it as well. And I remember him saying, like, don't worry, we fixed it. And someone else was tweeting at him, if you had trouble and you found it hard and you were, like this amazing leader and expert in this field, what happens for the rest of us mere mortals?
Just give
And
up.
right, just go home, just cry. So I decided that we should probably try to fix this, and so I put exactly 30 minutes into this, or 20-ish minutes into this before the show started, looking some stuff up, trying to figure out how to, because I was like, oh, if I could just know the answer before the show starts, I will look cooler, or at least like better. um, but I did not find the answer. So
Didn't work
first,
out.
didn't work out. So first of all, let's check with our chats to see if anyone has any questions, because you, the audience, are totally welcome at any point to ask us stuff. So let's see.
Or
So
give us answers.
yeah, also we accept answers. Oh my gosh, why does Mixer always try to make me sign in? I'm not gonna stop tracking users. Right. Stop tracking users with your cookies. We're not tracking users. It's only for the admins of the site, which are me and Francisca. It's just us two. Although Nancy, if you want admin cribs, of course you would get them. Oh, and
Absolutely.
Abel probably put some in for himself,
Yeah.
now that I think of it. Because he can administer our database. I gave him superpowers.
You know, when you
Yeah.
don't have admin rights, you can't be blamed for screwing up their website. So,
It's true.
least privilege.
The only thing that administrative users can actually do is add dates to our schedule. So if we look at our amazing menu system, so if you go to schedule, then you can see upcoming events that we have coming up of things that we're doing. And I know it's mostly me right now, but that's because I don't know, I haven't been doing a good job of adding extra things. So for instance, the DevSlop team went to Tel Aviv. Most of us were there. Franziska did some stuff, etc. I know it's mostly me, but I am, yeah, there, the end. But that's the only thing an admin can do is just add stuff. And the whole reason that we added the admin module is because we wanted things to hack. Because before the website didn't do anything, it wasn't very fun. You can't do an SQL injection if there's no database. But anyway, so if we look at our code, which is what it all comes down to. So I use Visual Studio. I know a lot of people like Visual Studio Code. It's good too. But guess what? I work for Microsoft, so I get a free license of Visual Studio, and I like it better. So um, so Abel and I figured out really quickly. Just going to move you and I down a bit. So it was in the cookie consent form, and we look here, and oh, just ignore this. I'm just going to comment that out. But see, we have document this, that. Where's the part where I call the script? Second. Script. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so this is our script. Because I was like, Abel, but we don't call any scripts. And then he was like, script. And we did not have this nonce helper here before. And then this worked. The code used to work. And then we put content security policy header in, and then it didn't work. So what we need to do is do something to make sure that it works. So we don't want it to just allow it to run any script from the internet. Actually, let me back up a bit. Okay, so Nancy, cross-site scripting is bad, right?
Yes, very bad. We know that.
But the main thing that attackers do is if there is the availability of cross-site scripting, which a lot of sites have, the first thing they do is call out to another bigger script. Because usually, like, let's say you have a search field, it's not going to be 2 pages worth of space in that search field. It's probably going to be like 50 characters or something. And you can't actually fit a really good attack into that. Like the code that you can write in 50 or even 200 characters isn't nearly as bad as if you have endless amounts of characters. So the best thing from an attacker's point of view is to call out to another place that has a script that's really long, full of awfulness. So if we make it so that you can't call any scripts unless there are scripts, and we know there are scripts, then that means if for some reason we were vulnerable to cross-site scripting, which a lot of sites are, we would have foiled many an attacker's plan. Because although we always demonstrate cross-site scripting with a pop-up box, no one actually gives a crap if the attack is only a pop-up box, right? Like that's minutely embarrassing, but like it doesn't really cause any damage. And I know that's the demo we do because no one wants to cause damage when you do a demo.
Yeah.
But the real thing the attackers do is they call another script or they paste in a huge script if you are unfortunate enough to have a giant field with a lot of space in it that is subject to cross-site scripting vulnerability. Okay.
So how do you identify a script that is ours? How do we differentiate and let script know that it's our script?
I am so happy you asked, Nancy. You give it, there's a few choices.
Okay.
So I'm a fan of Troy Hunt. Some people are, some people aren't. I like him. Too bad. So I'm going to talk about his site. So content security policy is the header we use to block scripts. And then you can show it that it's our site using either a hash or a nonce. A nonce is easier. our website is not, like the be all end all of really important things. So someone attacking us, if they're attacking us, is probably going to be kind of a lame attack, to be quite honest. Right?
Very low impact.
Yeah, because like we don't have any state secrets. We don't even have any of our secrets. We don't have anything good. We have a database, and the only thing it has in it is like links to where we're going to be speaking, which is already public on the internet.
Yeah,
like,
but they might
site,
deface it and say you're speaking, in Canada when you're in South America.
Yeah, okay, so that is a possibility. But like the
No big
financial
deal.
risk of that is low, considering I'm pretty sure we are the main visitors to our website. I'm pretty sure the number one most person who's visited is Juan, followed by you, Nicole, and Francisca, and Abel. And then maybe like our friends.
Good point.
So yeah, so I want to use a nonce. If you want it to be more secure, you could use a hash. However, they're more delicate, they're more difficult to implement, and the hash would be a hash of the script itself.
Okay.
That sounds like a lot of extra work. So anyway, Troy talks about all the different things you can do, and that's great. However, he doesn't talk about .NET Core, and what we're using is .NET Core. So I just want examples for .NET Core. So
one more question, sorry. Hashes, I think pretty much a lot of us are familiar, but a nonce, what's a nonce compared to a hash?
Let me tell you that. I'm just going to hide my doc because it is taking up a lot of extra space where I would rather be doing nerding. Let's look up the Wikipedia version of what a nonce is.
Yeah.
So, Wikipedia, and then nonce. It's a random value that you use to identify things, but they're going to have a way better way to explain it. Okay, so a nonce may refer to a cryptographic nonce. That's what we want. So it's an arbitrary number that can be used only one single time in a cryptographic communication. It's similar in spirit to a nonce word, hence the name. It's often random or pseudo-generated. Yes, we definitely want it to be random. And it's issued by an authentication protocol. So it's going to be issued by us, by our app, right? So we have the power over it. And so the script will have the nonce in it, and it will check it in our code, and it'll be like, it's the same one. That means you can run the script. So It's an arbitrary number that can be used only one time.
So it's like a one-time password for a script.
Yes, exactly. It's instead of a one-time password for a person, it's a one-time password for our script. That's such a perfect way of putting it. Do you think we should share this definition in the chat, or do you think everyone's like, we're experts now, Tanya, we don't need a link?
I think we've been clear, and they know Wikipedia.
Yeah, and maybe we should explain what a hash is too, just in case.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so hash, and then cryptographic hash. So when you encrypt something, you do this crazy mathematical thing that randomizes it into something else, and then you can decrypt it back into the same message. So you use a key, that key is a secret, but the idea is that you can encrypt it into something no one can understand or read, and then you have the possibility to undo what you did, decrypt it. With a hash, it's one way. You just make a mess, the mess stays. You can never decrypt the hash. It's permanent. However, let's say I'm going to put a password into our system. So I put the password in, and then it makes a hash of it, and it saves that in the database. Then I go and I log in another time. I put my password in, it runs the same algorithm on it, and then it compares the two, and it's like, yep, that's her. And that's a way that we can save passwords without having the actual password saved. So that means if Nancy was like, I've decided I'm evil Nancy today, and then she logs into our database and she's like, I'm going to steal Tanya's password, she just says the hash, which is quite useless. A way to make this more secure is to add something called a salt, which is a whole bunch of extra characters to make it longer and messier and weirder. And then it makes it much more difficult. There's not supposed to be a lesson on that, but I just wanted to mention salting, because if you're going to save passwords, you should salt them. Hashing and salting for everyone. Okay, good. Okay, enough with the little mini lessons.
I think that
So,
was useful. Thank you.
oh, thank you. Okay, so I looked up content security policy, Nonce, because that's the way I've decided that I want to do it. And I want to use .NET Core because that's what we wrote it in, right? So the first one I looked at was this guy, Junis W. And I was going to implement his. I kind of think this dude might be awesome. However, you have to install his NuGet package. I don't like the idea of installing a package that depends on only one person supporting it, that is doing it out of their own goodwill. And although I've now decided to follow this guy because he's clearly super smart, it just makes me uncomfortable. Like if I could use a Microsoft package, so there's like a whole team and a company that's supporting it versus like a package that's just from one single person. Like, what if Jonas becomes evil Jonas one day? Or what if, like,
He has a cold and cannot support the project for a while.
yeah, or like wins like $1 billion and decides to just, sail around the world on a, a hot air balloon. I don't know. There's so many options that involve him just not having access to support the project.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I'm a little uncomfortable with that. But his article's really cool, and he wrote a bunch of articles, so that guy seems awesome. This one was good too. But yeah, I just didn't. I don't know. This was MVC and not .NET Core specifically, and so it didn't have the examples that I felt I was looking for. So I see .asp.net, so that's not what I wanted. So then the next one, I don't like it when the I don't know if you can see like the zoom thing gets in the way. So then this one is the one that okay, wait. I can't remember why I did or did not like this one. Oh wait, did it not cover nonce? Yeah, okay, so here it talks about the nonce, but then it doesn't show you how to actually do it, right? So again, this guy's got great information, but it doesn't like give me the actual code example to put it in. And so I didn't think that was great. So then this is my friend Anthony. I know this guy. He's really awesome. And he's great. And he talks about it, but then he doesn't put the nonce in. So obviously when we're done, I'm going to be like, Anthony, can I help you improve your article so it's even more awesome?
But wait, if he doesn't use the nonce, what does he uses hashes? Is that, or none of it?
No, he's just being like, nope, you don't get any. So just like self, that's it. So only, so technically, because the script that we're using is actually like a cookie script, so it's technically not our script because it calls something, I don't know, I thought this was our script, but apparently that doesn't work for this. Like, because that would be the best. It's just run our scripts. Maybe that's an option for us, actually. Maybe we should try that first before we try all this fancy pantsiness with the. Because if we look over here, Nancy, having you with me helps me solve problems. If only you could have been there when I was a software developer, just asking me smart questions.
It's just like, no idea, Tanya, but have you tried this?
Well, because, so we have scripts set to self. And it's not working. So that's how I know it doesn't work, because that's what we already had it set to. So this is our use content security policy header. And so our options were like block all mixed content, yes. Style sources, us. Style sources also unsafe inline. So if we wrote the code into it, it's okay. Font sources, self. So everything was just self. Which Franziska and I at the time were like, that's awesome, because we don't need any external scripts because we think we can do everything ourselves. And then it turns out that this cookie warning is technically, because it's calling a function, I guess. I don't know. So cookie consent button, yeah, I guess that it does not consider this our own script, which I was kind of surprised by. So Anthony's cool. We should all follow Anthony. He's my guy.
Beautiful website.
Yeah, Anthony Jew. He's awesome. And so Yeah, so he does cover a whole bunch of stuff, but not the Nonce. And so that doesn't work for us.
Okay.
So then I looked at this one, which is like a GitHub. Everyone's talking, like, this is about like a plugin. So I didn't want to do this one. Then we looked at Troy's thing, and Troy's thing was really helpful, but explaining like why you want to use a Nonce, but it didn't have an or a .NET Core example to go from, and that's what we need. So then I came upon this site, which I'm going to share in the chat so that everyone has it. Shouldn't self work? Yeah, I know. So you just need to create a random string for the Nonce, right? Shouldn't self work? I agree with you a lot, Ray, as usual. But for whatever reason, self isn't working. I don't know why self isn't working. Maybe that's the problem we should be looking at. Okay, so now he's giving us code. Isn't he the best guest when he just gives us the answer?
I'm always happy to see Ray in the chat. Hi, Ray.
Me too. Me too. So public string get random alpha number chars varchars it equals whatever. Return new string char select char random number this to array. Yeah, you stole that. That's cool. I stole my code too. Hello.
Who doesn't?
Right? Remember when you used to have to write code yourself? Man.
It's like, no, copy, paste, modify.
So where'd you steal this from? A link would help. I'm just temporarily, I'm going to log into Mixer. So I'm going to put my hiding everything on my screen. I'm going to put my shush thing on.
Okay.
So then people can't see what I'm doing. And I'm going to like log in. I forget how I log into Mixer.
Just want to say, Tanya, we have someone in the chat saying that it's called, username is Inderdeep Bajwa, I think. And he's like, count me in as a visitor too. So we're not the only ones visiting the DevSlop website.
Oh, good.
Okay,
Thank you.
Let's make sure we fix it.
Yay! So I'm trying to enter my crazy long password into my password manager. Okay, now put my password in for Mixer, and then please log me in. Almost there. I'm not a robot, I promise. Oh my gosh, now it's making me pick out a bunch of bicycles. Okay, so I feel like I can unhide my screen for the bicycle selection, and then you can all see how bad I am at trying to prove I'm a human. I fail these like a lot, just for the record. Attempted credential-based login to XBL linked passwordless account. Okay, well, screw you. I guess Mixer just, sorry, I guess we can't answer questions there. I'm really sorry. That ridiculously sucks.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're live on YouTube as well, and there's a chat there, so if that's easier for you guys.
Mm-hmm. And Twitch, too.
Twitch, yes.
So how can I generate random alphanumeric strings? So the problem isn't generating a random alphanumeric string. The problem is trying to get that string into your script and then it tracking it and connecting it in the CSV. That's the problem. So anyway, I like this site. So I don't know who this is run by. So this is run by, I'm usually best contacted on Twitter using BCS Jones. Okay, well, I'm gonna follow this guy after, or lady, you don't know about. Okay, so I guess this person has no name. Awesome. Well, thank you, Microsoft MVP, mystery MVP, for doing this. Okay, so basically what we want to do is set it to self with a nonce, right? So scripts from myself with a nonce, so we know that it's our script and it's not someone else's script, like you were asking earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I brought a snack. I have raspberries. Sorry I didn't bring you any.
That's okay. Got
Sorry,
my coffee.
Everyone. It's pretty good. Coffee's good. Okay, so where random nonce is a securely generated nonce. This nonce will be unique for every single response from the server. So if Nancy visits the site 500 times, she'll get 500 different ones. And if I visit it the time after her, I will get a brand new one, not one of those 500. So on the web content side of things, where I have a script tag, I include an attribute called nonce with the same value. So script equals nonce, random nonce from the header, whatever, right? So if we go back to our code, in the script, we want to add nonce value. We don't know what value it's going to be yet, but we're going to put nonce equals something. So when the browser executes the inline JavaScript block, it checks that the nonce attribute matches what was sent in the header. Good, so it knows it's our script and not a faker script. So this prevents an attack from being injected. Okay, so we know that. However, with the nonce, the attacker cannot, okay, for sure. So refuse to blah, 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 blah. Okay, so how do we accomplish this in ASP.NET MVC? Oh, this is MVC again. I thought this was .NET Core. Oh, damn it. Maybe that's why we're having problems getting this to work. So I added this. So how do we accomplish this? So we use the Owen middleware. So Owen's created by Microsoft. And I added the NuGet packages by going in my code. So this is Visual Studio, and this is our project. It's called DevSlop. I press the control button because I'm on a Mac, and then I say add. And I'm going to add NuGet packages. So I looked up Owen security, and I added it. I also already added Owen too, I believe. So you click add packages, it does its thing. You can't see because the Twitch or the OMS, no, the Zoom thing is in the way, but it's like, oh, I'm adding 2 packages, see? And then that means we can call all the libraries and stuff out of there, which is good. Okay, so we add those so we can use them. So then in our configuration, right, in our starter.cs file, which is here. So our startup.cs file, this is where we start, right? The whole app starts here. And we go into configure. So here's configure services. And then here's configure. So I don't have a configuration one, but that might be a .NET Core versus, so iApp Builder. iAppBuilder.app. Oh, and our context. Okay, so this is the one we want because it's passing in the stuff we need. So app.use this, right? So it's telling us create a new service provider that's going to be a random number generator crypto service provider. And then we set our variable. So it's going to be a nonce, and it's 32 bytes, which is pretty decent. We can make it more. So then random number generator dot get some bytes. And then we set our nonce to the thing. So we'll convert it to a string. And we set our variable, the nonce, to it. So then in our context, so this is the part where it gets complicated and doesn't like it in the code. So context.set. So we're setting the script nonce to the value in the variable. And then the response.header add content security policy. And string format script self nonce is that variable we just created. And for some reason, it's in a loop. I guess if there's multiple scripts, that would be you would need a loop. But we just have one. So we shouldn't need to do that. So if we come look in our code, this is the security headers makes me happy section. It's the end of security headers. This is where all of our security headers start. And this is the line that broke our thing because I put s equals self. And I did not have a security header there. And then this is the stuff that it says to add. We're not going to add all that. It seems wrong. I'm hearing some noise.
Are you?
Yeah, like it's outside or something.
Mm.
It's okay. I don't mind. I'm usually the one that makes all the noise. You're allowed to make noise too.
I try to mute myself when I'm not speaking, but yeah, I'm not hearing anything.
So I'm going to comment out this whole like loop thing because we don't need a loop. And then we don't need a return because we're not doing a next thing. So we're going to create our random number generator thing. So we use system.security.cryptography.random number generator. Please make us one. And then we're going to do, oops, no. Okay, so then the Nonce bytes equals 32. I don't know. Someone was saying 32 online was good. So then random number generator dot get me some bytes. And then our nonce equals this. And then this is the part where it doesn't like it. So context.set script nonce equals nonce. That's the part where it gets complex. So instead, what I think we need to do is, so why is it suddenly upset with this app thing here? Error, the name app.useX content type options does not exist in the current context. Did I break the context somehow? Oh, just a second. I have all these things plugged into the side of my laptop, and my laptop does not want to be sitting in my lap, but I feel like if it's closer to me physically, I can think better. That's not true, but it's okay. So var nonce equals, I wonder where I would have set, so the name user X content does not exist in the current context. So I think that I'm setting a context here that is maybe breaking things. Let's remove that. Nope, still. Okay, so let's try commenting all of this out. Oh, it's still angry. Why are you angry? You were not angry before. What have I done, Nancy?
What about the app.use that you commented out?
So all of this was new this morning.
Okay.
It's me trying to solve the problem like a few minutes before we logged in live. Oh, and then, no, this was here before. Yeah, so why is it upset about this? App.useX content does not exist in this context. The name app does not exist. Okay, so I've done something above this clearly that has messed this up. Use HSTS, yep. This. Public configure these things. I did not change those things, but above I changed things. Add MVC. Okay, so public startup configuration gets, oh, nonce helper. This thing, I added this. Okay, so let's comment this out. I'm pretty sure that there's like a thing that I can just do that just comments it out, but I can't remember what it is. Format comments. Anyway, I haven't been coding that much lately, so I don't know any shortcuts. So I'm just going to go like this, which I know is low tech. And now let's go back. Are you not upset? Why are you upset with my app? Invalid token, this instruct, whatever. No, like, why are, you can't complain about that. That's behind comments. Stop it. Okay. I don't know what's going on, Nancy. I'm going to check the chat in hopes that, like, Ray's like, I know the answer to everything. Twitter, VSC Kevin Jones. Cool. Okay, so Stack Overflow. It only uses random, not a cryptographic random function, but should be good enough for something simple like this. But it would be fast because you're using middleware to set the CSP, blah, blah, blah. If you hash the function, then you can just hard code it. I'm not going to hard code it. I mean, like, here's a lesson, do it wrong. Yeah. Oh, back to the code. But thanks, Ray. I like now I don't understand why it's so self, but yeah, I am using ransom. Oh, you know what? What if instead of using the middleware, we just cut out the middleware part and we don't use middleware at all, which is what I think maybe that Ray was suggesting, and then we just set this like as the way that we would set the code. Let me explain.
Try that.
I just do like / yeah, and then slash done. There we go. And then, so let's do this. Now that I remember how to do comments all of a sudden. Okay, so things are not as pissed off now, but then we have to add these things in there. And then I need to uncomment this. Okay, get ON context. HTTP, oh, my volume's on. Why is that true? Okay. So HTTP context does not contain a definition for get ON context. No accessible extension method get ON context accepting a first argument of that. Are you missing a using directive? You better believe it, I am. So, but I have the Microsoft, so using, actually, let's just do this one. So,
it seems to be grayed out. Is it grayed out?
It is grayed out. I don't know why. Using directive is unnecessary, it says. So can I do like using this? No, it doesn't like it. Oh. Okay, so using on dot context. No, it's still pretty annoyed. ON context type using in a use statement. No, stop doing that. Okay. Oh, so var ON context equals helper dot view context dot HTTP context dot game. And instead, maybe this should be something else. Anyway, let's look at his code for that. Static, nonce, helper, script, nonce, whatever. Okay, let's go back to here. Because it's ASP.NET MVC, I thought MVC was sort of a format, but I wanted to use .NET Core, so I'm wondering if we're, again, just going to have more problems with this. Maybe there isn't like a way that's visible on, like, that's available on the internet at this point of how to use it, like .NET Core specifically. Like, I'm wondering if we're following like the wrong thing altogether, or if there is a difference. But I have found the hard way that there's a lot of differences between ASP.NET and .NET Core. And the way we had to do our security headers was with middleware, because there was a problem. I don't know. Now I feel like I'm doubting myself. Because if we keep this, a second. I'm gonna go like this. There we go. And it's still upset about that, and I can't remember why exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna star this out. And oh, and now all of a sudden,
Now it's okay.
Now it's okay. That's weird. Okay, whatever. Var using ON get helper context, get ON context, this, that. But what we really just need is like a random number generator, because it doesn't actually need to be a cryptographically generated one, like Ray was saying, because as long as it's random, it's random. So if we go down to the security headers thing, what we need to do here is script inline sources self, and then there needs to be something in here. to say that there's a nonce. And then in our code, we just need to say this and then nonce equals whatever it is. Like that's what we need to do, right? And I'm gonna look through all of these again because all of this extra code, it seems like a lot. Like nonce equals nonce, string format self. Because this is definitely not the way we've been setting it. So let's content security policy header and ASP.NET Core. And then he sets it like this, creating a rule set. So in there, we had to use his thing. This is back to Junus.
Yeah.
W, just to be
And we didn't
clear.
want to use his...
I didn't want to use like more middleware.
Yeah.
That is, and one that is only supported by one person. But I was following this before.
Okay. And what does Troy's article says? It doesn't mention anything about... Like, there's no code example?
There's no .NET Core example. So like if we look up, okay, so show me. Oh, they're all in the side thing. Yeah. .NET. And they're all in the sidebar. Oh, this is a report about nonces. Yeah, this page has been taken offline. Okay, so that didn't work. The thing is what they're doing is they show you what the HTML looks like after it's been rendered. But so like you compile your .NET code and it changes it and then creates a whole bunch of HTML stuff for you and a bunch of JavaScript for you. And they're showing you the end result, right? But what we're doing is writing the code that then creates the web app. And them showing me what it's supposed to look like after isn't super helpful because that's not, I'm not going to manually change code on our web server ever. Well, unless I'm just screwing around, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's not the right way to do things. Okay, so let's go back to Jonas. Actually, let's check in. Use the cryptographically secure one. Wait. Okay, so the lesson is get it working. I think it should be command + that will uncomment selected code. It should be wait. Use the cryptographically secure one. That's cool. Thank you, Ray. You should check your, Nancy, you should check yours as well, like your chat, because I'm checking my CX purple stream.
I am.
Okay.
I'm not seeing anything right now.
Okay, so back to our friend Junus. So he's saying app.useCSP. CSP allows scripts from self. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can copy this. .add nonce. You will have to configure the CSP middleware to include nonces for script styles or both. Style ASP.add nonce equals true. Adding nonces to inline scripts with CSS. He also agrees that 32 bytes appears to be a good one, a good amount. Okay, so if we go back to here to our startup page, why is it so upset? I don't remember what I've added that is bad that would
make it do that.
Yeah. Okay, so I've removed those. Now maybe it's okay. No, why is it so upset? The name app does not exist in the current context. Second, I'm just gonna clean and then rebuild and see if that helps. And then rebuild. Because I feel like it should be back to the way it was before I was messing with it. We can always go and look at the code online. Because if we go to GitHub, DevSlop, devslop.co, and then we go look at our startup, go into our DevSlop thing, go to our startup.cs, and then we could just like copy and paste over top. if I really feel the need to be like, no, security headers make me happy. I don't think we've changed a thing. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. And it's still being complainy. Well, guess what? Dun dun dun.
The whole thing.
Dun 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 dun. Thank you, GitHub, for saving a pristine copy of our code.
Backup.
Backup. Save. Script sources equals self. We want to do something else. I like the idea of what Jonas has here. Like, if we look here, I'm not gonna like use the whole thing. And I think that he was saying control, I can't remember what he was saying, but I'm just gonna go like this. Star stop. So csp.allow scripts. So here we are, use CSP, and then options, and dot script sources equals self. So like from self. It's just like the syntax is totally different. And I guess it's the middleware that's causing that. Like that's defining like the way that we do things. So what if we did dot script sources s space equals s dot add nonce. That does not appear to be an option. None. Get type custom sources. No, that does not appear to be script sources. Allow scripts. So maybe instead it could be, let's try allow block all mixed content. Nonce, no. Font sources, script sources, style sources, two-string upgrade. Maybe it's just like, this is not an option with the middleware that we're using to do this. And if we look up our middleware, so let's look up, I'm clicking on the wrong part. So restore NuGet packages, just show me my NuGet packages. Add solution file. What's going on here? Okay, so let's see. Show me the NuGet packages we already have. How do I see that? Oh wait.
What about the update?
Dependencies NuGet. There we are.
Okay.
Okay, so the one that we added specifically for this, so Owen, it's upset because we're not using it. And oh, so package OM was restored using .org instead of the project target framework. This package may not be fully compatible with your project. Okay, so
that's an issue.
That seems pretty bad.
Yeah.
Remove.
Then no insecurity. What does that say?
Package restored with warnings. Expand package to see my warnings. Let's see. It was restored, so it's old.
Same.
So it's the same. So let's remove that. Remove. Security code scanning. Here's my. I still installed the Jonas one.
He said he didn't want to use it. So let's. Do you want to try using that with his code then, or?
Yeah, it didn't seem like it worked.
It worked either.
Yeah, so so implementing CSP in ASP.NET Core. So use this. So allow styles from self, creating a CSP rule set. So by default from nowhere, set report only, inline scripts. So we want to set that. Let's just do this. So use app. And we're doing, so using Junus dot ASP dot hey dot
Scream at your
dot
code.
security headers. That seems very promising. I'm not already using it, so that's good. And then, so the way he's doing it is like this, like app use CSP, right? And what we could do is comment this out. We'll allow scripts from self, and then I could add probably the rest of this, allow styles from self. So take out styles. So CSP dot, we'll just add this. Oops. I just need CSP, no double dot. Okay. It doesn't seem very pleased.
Doesn't like it.
Oh, I know why. Huh? Aha, formatting, syntax. Oh no, now it's just generally like you suck.
Screaming louder.
So it did like those, and then now it doesn't. So iFluent CSP does not contain a definition for allow scripts and no accessible extensions. So, but if I remove these, does it suddenly work? Oh wait, all of them work. So block mixed content is a no-no all of a sudden? Okay. Did I do like some sort of... Okay. So it doesn't like block all mixed content. Okay, whatever. Oh. Does it act? No. Oh no, yeah, so it still thinks we're jerks. Okay, just to be clear. Okay. Now is it okay? Is it just pretending it's okay, but really it's still peeved at us?
Seem to be pissed.
It seems unpissed now.
Yeah.
And then let's comment this part out, because we shouldn't have that twice. We shouldn't use the CSP twice. That still seems weird though, because like, I'm just gonna try to compile it, just build it and see if it builds without losing its crap on us. This is a perfect time for us to check the things. So use the cryptographically secure one.
No.
So we're the same place we were before, which is fine.
Checking Twitch. I have nothing on Twitch.
This call is ambiguous between the follow methods, Microsoft.asp.core. Whatever, and Junus. Okay, so I know what to do now. Okay, so we just need to tell it which one it is. So Junus, so we need to go using Junus. Where? So, a second. Watch this. I think, so if we go like this, dot this, yeah. And then what we need to do is Microsoft ASP.NET Core Builder. So just again, Microsoft, this one. And then we're gonna come down here and we're gonna go like this. No. Okay, so then I think it's still peeved. I don't trust it. It just hasn't told us it's pissed yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
The name type app does not exist in the namespace, Jonas security headers, whatever. Are you missing an assembly reference? Okay, so maybe it's like this. Oh, CSP. There we go. There. Can we do that? And so then this is so builder dot. So there's no app. Builder extensions dot. No, that's unhelpful. Use X content type, whatever. Use middleware extensions, use path extensions, use when, web app, this, that, welcome. I don't know, Nancy.
Me either. Just a time check. We're 4 minutes
and then
away from 2.
Okay. Well, let's just, no, and it doesn't like this either. Is a namespace, but is used like a variable. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. We have 2 conflicting things and they're upset with us. Okay, Nancy, I think it's time for us to wrap up the show, and then I'm gonna try to figure it out this week, and then I will stream an answer, and then we'll cut it together so that we look really smart, like really fast.
Yeah. While you were away for 30 minutes, we figured that out. Okay, so do you want to summarize what we tried, or?
Yeah, so we figured out that our website, devslop.co, was broken because of our content security policy settings. So these menus run with, specifically that this cookie use policy runs with a script. And we blocked that script and it broke our menus. And so we tried to fix our content security policy by adding a nonce to it. A nonce is a one-time use, kind of like a password for computers. It's just a random variable used one time. To identify that script is our script, you can run that one script. So ideally, we would want to put like nonce equals and then some sort of function here, and then it will run this. We tried doing a whole bunch of things, like installing this lovely NuGet package created by an awesome person named Jonas. We tried following also, not that one, not Anthony, although he's great. The one on this site from JCS Jones, VCS Jones. But we just couldn't get it going, and there's something just slightly missing. And so when we figured this out, I definitely need to write a blog post about it, because it would appear that most of the stuff is for ASP.NET instead of .NET Core, and basically you just do security headers differently there, and that really stinks. So maybe Damien Bod will help, because he's the one that helped us add the security headers in the first place with his great posts. So maybe I could talk to him and ask him for help. But okay. I feel like if it's this hard for people to implement nonces in their content security policy, this is why developers aren't using it. If there's not enough documentation so people and examples so people can just say, oh, copy, paste.
Use that.
Then there's a serious problem, and we're not going to get the things done that we need to get done. And that's it.
So let's figure out for our website, and then hopefully on the blog it would help a lot more people.
Mm-hmm. So with that, Nancy, would you like to do a wrap up, and we'll say goodbye and we'll do the cute wave?
Yeah, well, let's do the cute wave. Thank you for I learned a lot about nonce and hashes, so we'll figure out and edit the video, put it back on our YouTube channel, and hopefully that will help a lot of people. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. Your questions really helped me problem solve a lot. So thank you. And thank you, everyone that tuned in. Oh. Hi, Ray. We look forward to meeting you this summer at Hacker Summer Camp.
And let's remind everyone that we have another live stream tomorrow going on.
Gosh.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to do it? Do you want to
Go ahead. It's all your show. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so tomorrow night, I'm going to do the Azure Cloud Security Workshop. Cloud native security demos and activities and exercises in Azure. So we are going to install an ARM template, which is the easiest part. Then we're going to have a discussion. Well, a template installs itself. Then we're going to do an SQL injection. We're going to turn on HTTPS. We're going to do a whole bunch of various different exercises within Azure so that you can understand how some of the security works in there. And then you will hopefully have signed up for a trial, which means then you can continue to play with it for 30 more days.
Okay, so super important to have our accounts set up before the workshop starts, because we won't have time to wait for everybody else to get their account set up.
Yes, I might log in a bit early just in case like people are there kind of fiddling around, not sure what to do.
Okay.
To try to catch people up, but at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time,
we're starting.
And if you don't have your thing set up, we're not trying to be mean, but we'll spend the whole time setting this one person up who has a problem, right? And then no one else gets to have a good workshop. So yes, thanks for reminding me, Nancy. So we hope to see you all Monday night. But for now, bye.
Bye.
For the OWASP DevSlop show.
Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Ciao.
Signing off for real now.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.